Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to see you. I've had a very long day, um, but we are here for the return of the OTC, the original Tribal Chief. I am very excited. I think this is going to be one of the best SmackDowns in a long, long while. Uh, I have a feeling I'm not wrong. Um, but yeah, so we got that going on. I think we're gonna find out if Cody Rhodes is going to be a part of that, or if he's gonna get split off into his own little world. I think we got a bunch of really cool stuff going on tonight. I feel really good. Like I'm usually really a little sour on SmackDown. I usually find it to be the lesser of the two shows. But I really think we've got a really good show tonight. So I'm psyched to do it. It looks like we got a couple people joining us over on Twitch, a couple people over on YouTube. We got some people over on I can't call it X. I just refuse. We're gonna call it Twitter. Welcome, sound off. Let me know you're here. We do still have a few of the AEW San Diego Comic Con exclusive comics left. They are signed by the AEW wrestlers themselves. We have there's a Will Ospreay comic signed by Will Ospreay. There's two Swerve comics signed by Swerve Strickland. There's a Britt Baker comic signed by Britt Baker. There's a Tony Storm comic signed by Tony Storm. Although I got to be honest, I might keep that one for myself. There's an Orange Cassidy comic signed by Orange Cassidy and a Darby Allin comic signed by Darby Allin. And I think we've given away, I think by my count, three of them. So we still have about three or four left. If you're interested in winning them, first of all, I need you to post right now in the chat. Just say hello, say where you are, what you're watching, and what you're most excited for tonight. Just let me know you're there. And then once I see that you posted, you can drop me a line over at the email address on the screen right now, and I will enter you into a little drawing for tonight to give away some of these comics. And we are 4 minutes away. I have got some Family Feud on my screen right now, where some guy just blew it. He's really let his family down. A feeling we can all relate to. If not necessarily, oh, zero. If not something we can relate to by being on Family Feud, then certainly through growing up, leaving home, and getting a career in the arts. There's nothing worse. It's really, really just nothing worse. We can just all, can we all just agree that somewhere our parents are just shaking their heads at something we've done? Most likely, if you're like me, it was getting a career in the arts. 100%. 100%. They just can't forgive us. Somewhere my dad, no matter how successful, no matter how successful I have become, uh, it'll never, it'll never go away. His disappointments. Oh, we're about 3 minutes away. Ah, boy, oh boy. 2 minutes away, guys. We are almost there. We gotta see. I feel like both Raw and Dynamite this week were fairly disappointing. So I'm hoping. I have a feeling that SmackDown is gonna be the show of the week. I feel like this is gonna be the one. Uh, the one. See what I did there? The ooze. The Uso. Because yeah, it's because Roman Reigns. If you don't know who I am or why I'm sitting here and why you are watching me, which would be weird, uh, unless you just have a morbid curiosity for hirsute bald guys. My name is Joshua Hale Fialkov. I'm a writer and producer, and sometimes what else do I do? I don't even know what I do anymore. Um, but I've made all kinds of TV, comic books, graphic novels, video games, all sorts of stuff. And I love talking about professional wrestling. And we do it here on the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I make videos, although I have been very bad about it because I have been incredibly sick. And I'm actually starting a new job right now, which is going to knock me out. So I'm actually not going to have any new videos including live streams for the next week after tonight. So I'm going to do tonight, and then I'm taking about at least 1 week off while I get situated in my new job, and just get a new schedule under control so I can make sure I can get everything going. And then once I see how I manage that schedule, then we'll figure out a new either live streaming schedule or a podcast schedule or a combination of both or some way to get the best of both worlds for you guys because I really enjoy doing this, and I will not give it up if I have anything to say about that. I will do it for as long as I possibly can, one way or another. Uh, so yeah, so we are there. I think it's now forever wrestling monkeys, bears, bears fighting in the sky. Let's see what we get. There we are. All right, guys, we are live with SmackDown. It is now. We're now. It's also forever. I will say what was not a disappointment this week was NXT. NXT was really good this week. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was did a great show this week. So we're gonna open with a recap of what happened at SummerSlam, which I guess is fair. I do wonder how many people, especially now that the PLEs are on Peacock, so it's not free, but it's more or less free. So I do wonder how many people watch the shows but don't watch the PLEs that they need to do these recaps. Um, I think to some degree you need to do it to like re-lap, for new viewers, right? Like you do need to like re-explain what's going on and catch them up. I get that. Um, what part I'm curious about is how many people, because I would assume that the PLEs must get lower viewership than the weekly shows. I wonder if that's going to change when they move to Netflix. Like, I'm genuinely curious what that's going to look like, um, and whether that changes things in sort of the long term, and what that means. I hear voices in my head. I'm so curious if Jacob Fatu's really hurt, because man, that looks nasty. It really looks like he got hurt. But at the same time, like, it makes sense for him to be feigning being hurt. Like, it makes perfect sense that that's when it would happen. So that way he doesn't have to choose sides, right? That he can play it off like he's not choosing Solo over Roman. I love all the fan footage. It's great. God, they put their packages are so well put together. They must license that footage, right? Like they must go to the individual, like they must go through thousands upon thousands of clips, hundreds of thousands of clips. I wonder if they do it by like what goes viral. I wonder what they use as like the metric to decide who's they're going to use. Because there's essentially infinite footage from that show because every person has a camera in their hand and every person is filming the same stuff from slight like barely different angles. So I'm curious like how they figure out what they're going to do, or do they have ringers in the audience shooting it with their phones? Like do they have just people sort of stacked around shooting with their phones? But that actually seems probably more expensive than just licensing the clips, or do they get it for free from people because they just want their footage on WWE programming and it makes them feel awesome? Uh-oh, Cody. Yeah, I'm curious. I am curious about that. These are the things that I think about when I'm watching wrestling. And exactly why, in theory, you watch this, if you do watch this, if you come back to me, is to hear me think about stupid things like that, about who is licensing the footage. Considering how crazy the WWE is, whenever you like YouTube or like if you put any footage of the WWE up on YouTube, you get copyright struck almost right away. So it would be extremely ironic if they were stealing all the footage, by the way. I mean, I guess technically it's footage of their show, but it's still someone else's footage, you know, like they can't they can't claim copyright over someone else's live footage. I'm sure they would love to try. Look at Cody trying to sign every single one. Where are they? What city are they in? Because he's really going for it. And they sound great. Oh, they're in Tulsa. Whoa. Yeah, listen to that crowd. Imagine what they're going to sound like when Roman comes out. They're going to blow the roof off the place. They're going to absolutely go bug nuts. Yeah, that is a crowd, man. And they're well trained. Wait till he says their name and they appear. It'll be Joe Hendry is going to pop up. That's what I'm hoping for. See, I told you. That's all you got to do is just say their name. Kevin Owens. Oh, for God's sake. I really thought we were going to get away from him. He just Kanye'd him. He's doing good so far. He's doing a good promo. Come on, Solo. Oh. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Oof. Roman. Oh, no. No, Owens is. Oh, he didn't. He gave him the chair. Thought he was going to hit him with the chair. He might hit him with the chair. Oh, KO's going to. KO's going to hit him with a chair. Here it comes. Here comes the wind up. Wind up in the swing. Well, I can't believe they're just going to do it without him turning on him. Kevin Owens is so good at turning on people. Oh, here it comes. Do you have any ideas? I don't know, guys. I mean, yes, I'm glad for the match. Weird. I'm glad. So he hits him with the chair. Why can't somebody hit somebody with a chair already? That was a good segment. Yeah, that was real good. I like that. Oh, I hope they give it to Andrade. I saw a comment come in. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. What's up, Matt? There he is. Good to see you, buddy. We are off to a blazing start. As far as openings go, best opening of the week, I think. Wait, again? He's having another match with Sammy? I don't remember that. Did we already establish that last like I guess we must have established that last week. I guess it's a series of 3, so it's okay, but like it's a lot. We've seen that match a lot now. I guess like you can do that match how many times, but there's gonna be a point where it runs out. Oh, the commercials, guys. I wonder, like, I guess part of the thing is, like, I'm glad. I don't know. I just like a heel Kevin Owens. I love a heel Kevin Owens. So and that's part of my, like, that's part of my hesitation, is that I just want to see Kevin Owens be a heel again. And I do wonder if by the end of this episode, he's not going to hit Cody with a chair. He's gonna be like, all right, you want to fight me? This is how I fight people. I hit them with chairs. You want to fight me? Just know I am a bastard. It's sort of my thing. But he is very lovable now, so maybe they wouldn't do it. Oh, the commercials, guys. I wish I had more to say, but the show just started, and I already said everything I have to say. I will say I missed TNA last night, so I don't know what happened on TNA. Did anybody watch TNA? And how was it, if so? I know more stuff with PCO happened. And Steph DeLander. I've just been busy. Like, I've been so busy. Like I said earlier, for everybody who just showed up, I'm starting a new job next week. And so because of that, my schedule's a little wonky as I still figure out sort of what my workload is going to be and how I'm going to handle streaming and making videos. So there's going to be no new videos again for another week, at least. And I'm not going to live stream or do podcasts next week. I'm definitely doing. We're going to do a live. I'm gonna live stream All In, and I'm gonna have a couple friends come on and do a reaction show right afterwards. Um, it's not that exciting, Matt. I can't talk about it, but not for exciting reasons. I'm hoping that's. I just texted you, Matt. I'm hoping that's still your phone. Yeah. Yeah, I just texted you. Or I sent it to somebody who has a number that is 10 digits, 4 of which are the same as yours. Have they been transformed? Like, what have they done? In what way have they transformed? It feels like they've just been used as enhancement talent. And by the way, being fed to the what's it called doesn't feel like a great move. To the bloodline doesn't feel like it's a great career move for them. That's going to make them feel big and different. Oof. What happened to breaking up A-Town Down? Did they just give up on it? Like, I thought they were doing a face turn. Oof. Wow. I don't know, man. I think they should break them up. I think it's time. Montez Ford feels like a star. Dawkins feels like a guy. Feels like a guy on a roster. Like they don't feel like it doesn't feel like they're getting anywhere. It doesn't feel like they're progressing or making any progress really anymore, you know? And like every time they try to push them and try and do anything with them, like they don't go anywhere. So maybe it's just me, but it feels like I don't know. Maybe you break them up. I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm not talking about A Town Down. I mean, I was talking about A Town Down, and then I moved over to the Street Profits because it feels like the Street Profits are being wasted. It feels like Montez Ford is just such a huge talent. You know, like when you see him on the mic, he's real good. He does really good. You know, he does really good work, but he's sort of stuck doing. He's sort of stuck doing mid card tag team stuff. Which look like being in a tag team is hard enough. Like being in a tag team essentially does put you in the mid card anyways. But then being on a tag team that sort of can't get ahead when like they were world champions and they were one of the biggest tag teams, but like they never get back there because for the most part they just I don't know they just don't have it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all four of these guys, like both tag teams, the time has kind of come for both tag teams to get broken up. I think Austin Theory's real good. I think like you could push him as a babyface. I don't know. I guess it's been a long time since he's been on the mic, really. So it is hard to tell what he would do on the mic. But I don't know how much he needs Grayson Waller anymore. Yeah, I mean they certainly book. Sorry, Matt. I'll put you up on the. Where's my overlay? There's my overlay. Do overlay and then wide. Here we go. Um, I think tag team. I think like the tag teams just don't. There aren't any that have a ton of heat. I think is the problem, right? Like just none of them are big enough. I think the closest you have is probably the what's it called, right? Probably the Bloodline, and they're at the very least playing that Jacob Fatu is injured. So I don't know how long that's going to last before they have to before they have to take the titles away from them, or if they're just playing that he's barely hurt and therefore isn't hurt, or if that was just a bit for tonight. But Cody said it. Cody said that he's hurt. Hey, look at the Profits winning. But I think over in what's it called? I mean, they're doing a little bit more over in AEW, right? Like you have the Acclaimed fighting like they're doing this Acclaimed FTR storyline, and you've had, but it's stuck like weirdly, it's stuck in like, oh, what's going on? This is like the weirdest. I don't want it. Oh. No. God, Kevin Owens is good. Can you imagine that they were going to cut him when he came over from Ring of Honor? Like, that's wild to me. Even when he was like a baby. Because even like his Ring of Honor promos are that good. I mean, look, like he has the accent and like he's, the accent was thicker, obviously, but like he is so authentic and so like you just buy what he's saying. Oh, I was saying before, I was talking about, the tag team stuff is a little jammed up over in AEW too, because with the Bucks having the titles, they're even like, I don't know why exactly, but like they're doing that weird feud with the Acclaimed and FTR while the Bucks are essentially off TV, and I don't understand why they're off TV. I don't know if something else happened or I don't know. Um, but like you're doing like this weird they're doing this weird story where again like the whole tag division just feels kind of put on hold, which is exactly what the WWE is doing. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Like I said, I keep waiting for him for I want Kevin Owens to hit him with a chair. I want Kevin Owens to be like, listen, you want me to do it, I'm gonna do it my way. And the way that I do that is by hitting you in the head with a chair. Because that is the Kevin Owens way, buddy. Which I just think would be delightful. And Cody's like, dude, what? I thought we were doing this as friends. Kevin Owens is like, listen, I don't do that. That's why I didn't want to do this. You won't listen to me. I told you I didn't want to do this. I told you I wanted to just be your friend. I didn't want the title match. I just wanted to be, I just wanted to be cool. But you decided that you wanted to do it this way. So we're going to do it this way. Because this is how I get the title match. But I mean, they can't go to Roman. They can't go back to Solo. Like I want Solo and Roman have to be off on their own doing their own thing. Um they're like super short on heels. There just aren't heels. Again, like the easier way to do it would have been just to have Kevin Owens tee him up with a chair. And then you're good. You have Kevin Owens key him up with a chair and say, "What about me?" You know how many times like I got screwed by the bloodline and I never got my rematch? You have him do essentially the thing he just did, but you have him do it where he's the self-motivated one. I think you do that and then you also get a heel out of it, so you get some heat between the two of them. And you have it be like, "No, it's bull like you say we're friends, right? Like you're arguing to me that we're friends. Cody, I've been there for you over and over and over. And you do what? Maybe, but they just put Randy into a program with Gunther. And that's going to go a while. I don't think that's just going to be one match. I can't imagine that that's just one match. And the problem with having Randy, the problem with putting Randy into the program with Gunther, which is going to be great, right? So that's good. I think that's like a net positive. But Randy's argument against Cody is the same argument I'm making for KO, right? So Randy's argument to Cody is like, dude, you're letting all these other guys get in line and get their title shots, including the guys who put me on the shelf. But where's my turn? We're supposed to be friends. We're supposed to be best friends. And this is how you treat your best friend? But the thing is what that means if he does it now, after having the title shot with Gunther, is that Gunther's belt doesn't mean anything. Right? So, like, they're doing all this work to build up that belt and make that belt into something that's valuable. That's, like, as good as any other belt. And if Randy comes back to say that he's hurt, that he's heart sore because Cody didn't give him a title shot, well, you did just get a title shot. You just got it at a different belt. And, like, isn't it better Like, isn't the better world that we live in that like the two best friends are co-champions essentially? Like that seems like the way better. That seems like the way better outcome. Who would complain about that? Unless the second belt is a consolation prize, which let's be honest, it is. But like, not if they build it right. You know, or the other way they could play it, I guess, right? So here's the other variation is if Gunther, and you can't do this, right? Because Gunther doesn't have the manpower. But there's a world where, like, if Gunther gets a new third guy for Imperium, and Randy keeps getting jumped leading up to it, Imperium keeps getting involved and keeps screwing him over. And Cody doesn't come out to help. And in fact, KO comes out to help, and Cody doesn't come out to help. Then the argument comes after the fact is I lost my belt, and you did nothing to help me. I had matches. The nights I had matches and you needed help, I still came out and helped. Oh, hold on. Tiffany Stratton's talking. I love Pretty Deadly. Oh, this is good. I don't think you can make Dragunov the third man in Imperium. I think you want to save Dragunov versus like I don't know that you can like plausibly turn Dragunov heel. Like he's so like honor bound and so like he's so character wise they have spent like year after year after year with like all the heat that you get out of him from NXT is over how honorable he is, you know? And like even the short time that he's been on the main brand, the main roster, it's still been like super much. It's been like so much of it has been about how honorable and decent he is. And I think like there's certainly a world where he gets heat for turning. I just don't think it doesn't feel like the heat you get for him turning is worth losing the baby face. You know, I don't quite buy it. Especially not to be a Giovanni Vinci, right? Not to be like an extra goon. Um, but all of that being said, that does a lot. That does more to hurt for me. That does more to hurt Gunther than it does to help the Randy storyline. Because like I don't think Gunther needs the cheating. I think like you're selling that Gunther is essentially unstoppable. Like he's an unstoppable machine. And every time he needs backup and needs help and like can't do it on his own, what you're saying is like that he's weak. And the real goal ultimately, the real goal of everything that they're doing with Gunther is to sell that title and make that title a legitimate meaningful title. Which like say what you will about everything that happened at WrestleMania with The Rock and everything that's in the documentary, but like the one upshot to a Seth versus Cody match for that title is that it would have made that title feel legitimate. It would have gone a long way. Like, it would have still been weird, and it would have been a bummer. And I think what we got is way better. But it really would have done, it really would have done that thing. It would have made a big difference, I think. I think we would have seen it make a big difference. And she's jacked. I do wonder. I mean, I'm pretty sure they guaranteed. I think they promised that Roman Reigns was going to be on tonight, right? I can't imagine they don't do Roman Reigns tonight. I wonder how much he's going to work. Like, I wonder how much he's actually going to show up now. Because it feels like he's going to have to start showing up. I love that they have made in this commercial for whatever the show is, this Hawaiian show, this Hawaiian lifeguard show, Rescue High Surf. They're making "Island in the Sun" by Weezer into a into a into a mournful ballad. Yip, hip, hip, hip. Amazing. What can't American television do, guys? What can't they do? I just saw online that Channing Tatum is being considered to be Hal Jordan in the DCU Lantern show. That is bad casting. I hope that is just rumor. That is oof. I would not do that. That would be nice if we got season 3 of Mindhunter. That show is fantastic. What a sheer joy that show is. It's a real pleasure, that show. And by pleasure, I mean a dark spiral into man's worst traits. But a real pleasure otherwise. So are they gonna? Do they have a title shot yet? Well, I don't think Bray Wyatt's gonna return this time. I'm pretty sure. Like we're good on at least we know that's not happening. No, I'm pretty sure they said that Roman Reigns is like gonna come out. This feels like one of like it feels like the last solo Jade Cargill match was her against Nia Jax, which was sort of like a not match. Like has she actually had a match since then? They've all been tag matches. I would I would love to be a fly on the wall of the Jade Cargill conversations that they have. Cause she's so confusing. Cause she's like astonishing looking. Like she is like if you were to design, as they say about Randy Orton, like if you were to design a wrestler in a lab, that is what she like. She a female wrestler in a lab, like she is what would come out. But then like her actual wrestling is so all over the place. Like that rolling DDT that she just took was really bad. Just like every move is so awkward and weird. And I feel like she wasn't like they kept what she did in AEW really simple, and so it worked better. That wasn't bad. Oof. Yeah, I entirely missed Bray Wyatt. Uh, he was like in the exact window of when I did not watch wrestling. So I think like I saw the lights out match with LA Knight. I think is the only actual Bray Wyatt match I saw air, like as it aired. I like me some Blair Davenport. I have high hopes for her. That is a fabulous look for Naomi. I am on board with like 70s black exploitation Naomi. So at Bash at Berlin, are we getting this as a trios? Or we're getting this as like a trios feud? Because I guess Naomi and Blair Davenport have like a sort of feud going on. LA Live, that's the name of our giant complex of like where the Staples Center is downtown. It's called LA Live. My prediction is true. I think this has been pretty much the best show of the week. I have done a really. I normally take notes so that I can do the podcast, but I have done a really horrible job. I wrote down the Cody segment, and KO title shot, and nothing else. I might not be doing a podcast this week, guys, because I'm very tired. And I've had a lot to say. I've been talking nonstop. I don't know if you guys have checked out. I'm doing. I must have talked about it in front of many of you before, but just in case, I am doing a Kickstarter with Legendary Comics right now for a sequel to Pacific Rim, and I think is that what my graphic is right now? There might actually be even a graphic for it up in the corner. Let me see. Yeah, the Pacific Rim graphic in the corner, right up there. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you to it. You can back it. We're at like 75,000 out of $100,000, so we're extremely close. We did that in I think 3 days total. So we are very, very close to being entirely funded. It is a sequel to the second Pacific Rim film, but we bring back the hero. We bring back Raleigh from the first movie. So it's like a sequel to both of the first and second movie. It brings in a bunch of stuff that wasn't followed up on in the second movie from the first movie. They go into the breach. It's super cool. So if you like stuff fighting each other, wouldn't you like it if those things fighting each other were robots and monsters? Who doesn't love that? That's what I don't know. And if you want to see how I take watching wrestling and apply it to giant monsters fighting giant robots, that is a great place to start. They have all sorts of packages. You can check it out. We're like I said, we're really close to getting funded. I'm hoping we can make it there by Monday. It would be fantastic if that actually got funded the whole way through, and then I could start writing. It should be fun. It's a project that's like I've wanted to do for a really long time. Yeah, we're getting Roman. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're definitely getting him. I find like everybody was freaking out about that backflip off the top rope. It is like completely run of the mill New Japan stuff. Though I was like very not I was very not overwhelmed, not impressed. I mean, I really don't like Logan Paul. Like Bloom is very much off that rose as far as I'm concerned. Did LA Knight just fall off the ropes again? Dude falls off the ropes all the time. It's weird. The music should have Lou Ferrigno. Do I have stories? Convention stories about Lou Ferrigno. So many. Everybody who goes to comic book conventions has countless stories about Lou Ferrigno. Why doesn't the music have the LA Night built into it? It's weird. LA Night. LA Night. Yeah. LA Night. LA Night. Yeah. Like, why is that not built into the music? What are we doing? Why are we giving him a new theme and then not building in his catchphrase? What a weird choice. But he freaks everybody out. He does deserve it. Sort of. As much as anybody does, I suppose. Yeah. Now I'm going to do what Logan Paul doesn't, and I'm going to actually fight matches. Ba-dum bump 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 bump. Did he just say the undeniable Kavorka? I'm undeniable Kavorka. Yeah, he did. I was just making sure that is the thing from Seinfeld. Yeah, undeniable Kavorka. That is the thing from Seinfeld. Yeah, that is a made-up Seinfeld word, guys. That LA Knight just referred to himself having. It's really funny. I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by that. With everybody saying King Quente. Is it Quente? Is that his name? I totally blew it, guys. King Quer is it King Cuerno? Dan, I blew it. One of these days. Idolo. I love El Idolo. Andrade's the best. But I'm judging by the fact that he did not get a promo right here that he is not winning this match. Common sense dictates, you know. I would like, so if I had Andrade, I was thinking about this, because he's not over, I don't think. Like, it's not working, even though he's awesome. Like, he's awesome in the ring. I think, like, he's had the gimmick for a while, the look. It's hard to get rid of the mask, because the mask is a family thing. It's a familial trait, but at the same time, it's also weird, you know, like, I think it's confusing. It's confusing to American fans that he wears the mask out, but not, like, in the ring while he's wrestling. Because I think, like, we've been trained to expect luchadors to wear the mask the whole time, even though it's not actually true, right? That there's only some luchadors who wear masks the whole time, and a lot of them just wear them out to the ring. Some of them wear masks over their masks on their way to the ring, which is very confusing. Um, but like the pointy leather coats, the El Idolo, like all that stuff is been done for a while, and I think was pretty much identical when he was in NXT and pretty much identical when he was on the main roster before he went to AEW, where it was pretty much identical. Like, I think he needs a refresh. I think you need to look at him, and I think you need to do something with him. And I don't know, I think he needs, like, personally, what would I do with him? I would lean into the fact that he's two things. And he's two, like, opposing things. He's a big dude. He's like a big bruiser of a dude. But he's also a lucha. Like, he is a total luchador. He does all kinds of crazy flippy stuff. And he does both of those two opposing things simultaneously. I think they're playing him as a heavy who does a little bit of lucha stuff. But the fact is, like, he's not quite Ricochet, but he can do a lot. I think you let him start doing that stuff, and you let him start having matches where you see in a really clear way how good he was. Like, I feel like that last match he had with what's his name, with Carmelo Hayes, I feel like was really good for him. Like, I feel like you actually got a lot out of him. You know, I think he probably was at his best with Zelina, but I don't know that you put him back with her because Zelina, like, it's gonna pop that up. Because I think Zelina's on her own thing right now. I mean, maybe that helps her. Maybe that actually, maybe putting them together will, like, do something for her as well. Maybe that is the thing that like they both need all together. Yeah, if they're doing that, if they see it through. I love that they're doing subtitles. I love it. They're bringing Vinci back, huh? As a, I can't tell what. As a tweener? As a rich guy? I don't exactly know what the character is. Oh, look at him go. Both of these guys should be, like, this should be a banger. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. You would think that, like, for how over Rey Mysterio is, and, like, the historical precedent of how over Eddie Guerrero was, that the fact that they have Escobar and Andrade and these guys and the rest of LWO, you think that they would be more into just doing the lucha stuff, but they pretty much keep it all to NXT. So like even having Andrade and Escobar, like they're not really doing lucha stuff. Like they're fighting more or less like straight wrestling style. You mean with the commercials, Matt? I don't know. Like I mean, they clearly are fine doing it with matches with Ray. But like even when Ray was feuding with Escobar, they didn't let Escobar do lucha stuff. Yeah, I'm just talking about like the quality of the actual individual matches. Like they're I don't know if they're just trying to protect the guys and keep them from getting hurt, which I guess is fine. But these guys are like, you know, they're built for the lucha stuff. It's what they're trained in, you know? Like it's they know how to do it and not get hurt. As I say that, I know Andrade got hurt a lot. So I mean, maybe not. But I think part of why he got so muscly, like that was part of his reasoning for getting so muscly was that he could do the lucha stuff and not get hurt. Like he beefed up so he could come to American TV was also part of it. I've read from interviews I've read with him. Like, just think about what that would have been at AEW. Yeah, I'm curious what that'll be like. I love Phoenix and Penta. Penta El Zero Miedo is my probably my favorite wrestler. I love him. I love what I love about him. It's funny, and I'm saying this as I talk about two guys who are luchas who don't fight like luchas. What I love about Penta is that he doesn't fight like a lucha until he does. So he's like, he fights like a brawler, right? Like he fights like a weird ninja brawler, which would explain the why he dresses like Scorpion. Um, but then when he hits the lucha stuff, it is wild. It is wild and out of control and just bonkers crazy. You know, like it's so good. Um, and he the way he tells the story is like with this like dynamicism that leads up to it. I think Phoenix is just a really good lucha. He doesn't quite have this for me. He doesn't quite have the same magic that Penta does. You put the two of them together, on the other hand, and that is like just bliss. You get like absolute sheer and utter bliss, like really really magical. And I was heartbroken. They have a store in LA uh, where they sell like their masks and their shoes and like their costumes and stuff from other guys. And like, unfortunately, it closed. Their landlord jacked up their rent. Um, yeah, he does that here. I mean, that's he does little shows here too, and it's the same thing. It's just what he does. Like they both exude a love of wrestling, which like when you watch Lucha Underground, there's a reason that like obviously the two like neither of them were meant to be the star of that show, and like it just becomes abundantly clear when you're watching it how much better and more engaging they are than everybody else. You know. So we still have what Nia Jax to come tonight. I think they said right. So we're at 6:20. So we're probably got three more segments. Oh, that sounds great, Matt. That sounds really cool. Yeah, I think I'm because I'm 5'10", 5'9" and a half. So I think MJF is my height. Like we're roughly the same. I've heard from people who meet him backstage. So when there's nobody around and he's not playing a character, that he's actually terrific. I've heard from a couple people, which I find comforting. Because God, do I love him. Yeesh. I'm jealous of all you Chicago guys because not only is wrestling show up there all the time, but I think your shows are just way more affordable than ours are. Like when wrestling comes here, it is crazy expensive because it's a really like, and it's always been like this in LA. It's a very like Hollywood thing to do. So to get floor seats, especially ringside, are always thousands of dollars. Um, to get anywhere down like mezzanine and below is always hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. And so like you never get to go to WWE shows. AEW shows you can get for like $50 still. Um, ooh, shit, that was nice. It's a good match. They're doing a good job. When New Japan comes here, they do the shows really not in LA. I think the nosebleed WWE seats here probably start around 100. They're 75 to 100. Oh, Andrade. TNA doesn't come here. TNA doesn't get out of the way. We're going, and then we're going. I think we talked about it last time. We're going to a Game Changer show next weekend for my birthday. Um, which I'm very excited about. That was a great match. I think you don't need the like double interference is a little much. I could live without Carmelo interfering twice. Like you really just need him to interfere once because essentially the first time didn't accomplish anything other than I guess we know he's there. And you know, having him interfere twice makes Escobar look double weak. Like it's one thing if he just interfered the one time and that led to the win, but he essentially interfered once, it didn't work, and then he interfered again. Oof. That poison rana on Jacob Fatu is nasty. God, DIY are great. They're so good. I mean, I like this. I feel like they did good stuff with DIY, but they were always just holding the titles, you know, to keep them warm. Walking here right now. Y. I like DIY. I'm a big fan. But I also like Pretty Deadly, despite the fact that they're going to lose. Oh. Oh, they make a package about Kevin Sullivan? Oh. Delightful. Oh, that was nice. Oh. They did Busted Open this morning, was like 3 whole hours of talk about Kevin Sullivan. It was nice, which I listened to most of. All right, so we got DIY. I still think we have Nia Jax. It seemed like we have Nia Jax, didn't we? I'll tell you, Matt, I'm watching on the Chicago News right now. Not to just single you out and just have a conversation with you in front of all the other people who are watching, but I'm watching using a Chicago channel, and it looks like they just showed the Blue Angels are going to be in Chicago, so you're going to have a good time. Ah, guys, things might get a little weird because I froze. About that. That was weird. There you go. They're still playing their breakup. I gotta say, these Ninja Turtle figures, number one, are awesome, and number two, are not available at Target. They are lying. Like, I look for them constantly. And my wife will be super pissed when I buy them. I'm gonna look for them right now. Look. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles WWE. Yeah, they don't exist. They do not exist at all. WWE TMNT. Let's try that. Wave 1. There's pictures of them. Not available. Oh, I actually found them in the store. Like, I found them on the Disney app, or on the Target app. And they're not available for delivery, shipping, or pickup. Target. You guys are watching me live shop right now. I mean, I really want the Cody one because the Cody one is delightful. The Cody Casey Jones. The Cody Jones. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Drives me crazy. I'm just happy that Pretty Deadly are on TV. Oh, God, they're good. God, they're delightful. They are delightful, Pretty Deadly. I was not a fan when they were doing the wheelchair gimmick that they were doing uh, on the same gimmick that Roderick Strong was doing in AEW. That part was less great. But I don't think they come out like maybe they come out in the fall, but they keep saying they come out now. And they have them on they keep having them on TV and they keep having graphics for them saying that they're already out. So I don't know why they're lying to me. And they are marked as sold out, which means that they might come out then, but they were probably pre-ordered, which usually what Target's website does. But I will say, if anybody is at a Target and they see those things, buy them for me, and then don't overcharge me, and I'll pay for them. What is Roman Reigns going to do? There's not much time left, guys. We're really just going to get like 30 seconds of Roman Reigns. He's going to come out, and then they're going to cut to the news. Did I like hallucinate them saying that Nia Jax was coming out at some point? I must have hallucinated it. I thought that's what Tiffany Stratton was doing. She was like preparing some sort of ceremony, or is that for next week? Maybe. Where I come from, we call that a rainmaker. Thank you very much. That's a good match too. Like, there's actually been really good, like above, certainly above average wrestling. Like very un WWE levels of good wrestling tonight. Shatter Machine. It just feels weird that they use the Shatter Machine as a, like, it's like a semi-finish. Like, it's such FTR's move, and FTR is still an active tag team. You know? Like, he's pulling him out like a corpse. The best. Very good. Sorry, excuse me. Uh-oh. He was advertised as being here. Don't worry, he was in the TV guide. Oh, I wonder how it's going to go having Solo Sikoa have to go mouth to mouth with Roman Reigns. That didn't sound right. I wonder how it's going to go when Solo Sikoa has to go mic to mic. It's a little better. Is it a commercial break? Is that the explosive thing? It is. The explosive thing is a series of commercials. It's going to be a 5-minute commercial break. What I like is that they are just going to stand in this commercial break, this like 3.5-minute commercial break, doing the ones the whole time. Oh, they did, because it's a 2 out of 3 fall thing. I remember. And Solo is just standing there with his arm raised, thinking like, "Oh man, I should have done arm day. Should have really worked on arm day." I mean, like, just sitting here like this is exhausting. And I'm, a slob, so I suppose that might be why. But like, oof. No, I'm very tired, guys. This is very tiring. Not a fan. Could not be the fake tribal chief. Would not be a good fake tribal chief because I could not stand in the ring with my arm raised. When I went through physical therapy, they'd make me raise my arm like that for extended periods of time, and I hated it. I was terrible at it. Just not my scene, man. Okay, come on, guys. Let's go back. What are we doing? The poor guy's arm. That's all I can think of now. Just holding that poor arm up. Come on, guys. Let's do this. Come on. Okay, here we go. Heep, heep. What the? Delightful. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. I just wonder if like the showrunner is like, this is heavy. This is super heavy, guys. This is great. This is exactly when I was writing the pilot to the show. This is exactly what I was thinking. this is exactly. This is exactly. This captures the emotional content that I was planning on. The emotional voice of my show is minor chord version of Islands in the Sun. Yip, yip. Holy bay. Still standing in that ring with his arm raised. Let's see. Is he? I can't see. It's too small. Nope. Put his arm down. See? It's too long. That's too long to ask somebody to keep their arm raised. Instead, they just stood awkwardly in the ring for that whole time. Acknowledge music hits. No. They're going to make him cut a promo. No. Oh, man. I can't believe they're going to make him cut a promo in this. It's just mean. Just so mean. Don't do that to him. He's a human being, for God's sake. With feelings. Okay, he didn't come. Then he just runs away. I'm good. So Jacob Fatu's gonna come out of nowhere, I'm assuming. Got 7 minutes left. I don't think we're getting a promo. If I were gonna guess, if I was speculating, which is I guess what I'm supposed to do, he's gonna get to the ring, and Jacob Fatu's gonna jump him and kick the crap out of him. And then it's gonna be the Timu bloodline standing over Roman Reigns. Well, oof. Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu. Come on. 6 minutes. What are they chanting? Are they chanting Rikishi? Because if so, that's amazing. This is going to be a very short storyline, it turns out. Come on, Fatu. Huh. Jacob Fatu, come on. Still got 4 minutes. Man, listen to that crowd. That's crazy. 3 minutes. This is not the direction I would go if they're actually trying to do a storyline. I mean, oh, OTC. I thought they were saying. Sorry, I'm a little slow. A little slow in the uptake, guys. Maybe Jacob Fatu is really hurt. 2 minutes left. Nope. Yeah. Not what I would do. I mean, like, where do you go from there? You know, like, he just wrecked them. Like, that's, I mean, they now have no, they have no argument. You know, like, there's no story. Like, what is their argument that they're the dominant faction? One dude just totally destroyed them, all three of them. Like, the only argument for their continued existence is Jacob Fatu. Is Jacob Fatu showing up? Or, like, Hikuleo, I guess? Hikuleo could show up and take their side, but why would he? How does that make sense? Yeah, it's curious. Very curious. That was a great episode, though. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was very, very strong. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Like I said, there's going to be no live streams next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a podcast tonight because I am wiped. I might try and do a podcast over the weekend for this episode of SmackDown, though. And maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll do SmackDown and Collision as one. Maybe I'll do that. See how it goes. See how my weekend looks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I've loved having all this time with you guys over the past couple weeks. I hope when I do come back, you guys are still here hanging out. So don't find other streamers that you like better. And it's been a pleasure as always.